Hey guys, I wanted to upload a quick little video talking about my impressions and my thoughts of Cyberpunk 2077, and my sort of thoughts and reaction to the release of the game and the absolute clusterfuck that has occurred, and how disappointed I am both with the community as well as with the developers themselves. So, to start off, I am a big fan of CD Projekt Red's work in the past. I absolutely adore Witcher 2. Witcher 3, I really like. I don't like it as much as Witcher 2, but I really like. And I even like Witcher 1, despite the absolutely awful, weird rhythm combat. So I'm a big fan of CD Projekt Red. And I had a lot of high hopes for Cyberpunk, as did most of us, I would assume. And I was 100% fine with them delaying the game until 2021 or however long that they needed to delay this game in order to get it functioning and perfect, to their own standards. However, with the release of the game recently on the 10th of December, it became painfully apparent that they needed to delay the game further, but they wanted to push it out right before the holidays so they could get that big boom in sales, they could get all those gift sales and all of that, and to finally push it out. And they were going to instead employ the Bethesda tactic of the game is almost broken, extremely buggy, performance is lackluster on every single machine. Let's go ahead and just patch it to make it better. And the worst part about this is that there are people in the community, CD Projekt Red fans like myself, that are actually legitimately attempting to rationalize this. They're attempting to defend CD Projekt Red. Now, this is absolutely absurd, okay? If it was a company like EA that released a game that barely can run at 18 FPS on the PS4 and Xbox One at 720p, then we would absolutely be rioting. It would be, cancel EA all over. But because it's CD Projekt Red, it gets the pass. It's absolutely absurd. It's idiotic. We need to hold every single company accountable for their actions, and CD Projekt Red has fucked up. In their attempt to not anger anybody by delaying the game further, they have released a buggy, performance doo-doo product. I mean, it's actually kind of sad, the state of the game on PS4, on base PS4 and Xbox One. This game is struggling to hit 20 FPS when shit's going down. It has a variable resolution that goes all the way down to 720p, and it's mostly at 720p. There's about 4 people in the crowds of Night City. It's like they're goddamn quarantining. Alright, they're out there self-isolating on the PS4 and Xbox One versions, and there's nobody in fucking sight. It is the loneliest, sorriest excuse for a city I've ever seen in my life. And not even just that. The pro versions at times can struggle as well to hit 30 FPS. They dip their performance all the time, as well as dipping the resolution a lot. And then if you even want to go to the PS5 version, there isn't a proper next-gen patch for the game as of yet. So sure, it runs at 60, but it's a blurry fucking mess due to the resolution, right? Then you want to go to PC, okay? Me, I would consider myself, I don't know, maybe in the top 10%, top 20% for PC users. I haven't taken a look at the PC hardware, but let me tell you my specs. I have a Ryzen 7 3700X. I have 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz DDR4 RAM. I have an RTX 2070 Super. All right. And I have the game running on an SSD. Now, with all of that being said, All right, I would consider that a pretty damn good PC, right? I could typically play any game out there on the highest graphics settings and get a minimum of 90, 80, 90 FPS minimum in 1440p. In Cyberpunk, with everything low or medium, low, off, or medium, all right, just the lowest settings, turning off everything in 1440p on an SSD, I struggle to get a solid 60 FPS. Think about that, man. It's dropping below 60 FPS with my beast of a PC. And this is also with deep learning super sampling on, which is essentially an AI system in the RTX cards that goes ahead and adapts the resolution and the scaling in order to save performance. And that's with it on. It's abysmal. It is truly crazy. I capped the game at 80 FPS, and I was hitting 80 pretty reasonably until I got into my first big firefight, which is one that you've probably seen in the gameplay with the spider robot. And that bitch was dropping hardcore, man, like high 50s at times. And sure, that is obviously far, far superior to the PS4 and the Xbox One versions, but it's still not acceptable. And on top of that, I've had several bugs. My car has just been fucking floating before. I've had tons and tons of pop-in of just crowds popping in right in front of me. By the way, on an SSD, not on slow hard drive mode or anything like that. I've had people just popping in front of me. You're probably saying, all right, sure, that stuff's annoying, might break your immersion, but it's not actually, you know, destroying your gameplay experience. I've had twice now where I have just instantly died. Like literally no reason, I've just died. So that was pretty sick. Whenever it's one of the like cut scene type moments, like the set piece moments, a lot of the times my audio just completely cuts out. Or I'll go to swap to my next gun and there's literally no gun. My character is just holding nothing. It's invisible. There's no sound of gunshots. Everything then becomes extremely distorted and delayed. And the dialogue that's supposed to happen at that moment starts playing later. If you don't believe me, all of this is visible on my streams. You can go and watch my streams. You could see my dismay with the performance and with all of the bugs and stuff like that. I've now tried the game since the most recent patch. I think it's 1.04, and it has not improved my performance or anything like that. And the worst part is that it's so inconsistent, right? I know people that have worse systems than me that are getting like the same FPS, some getting better FPS. I know some people that have better systems than me and they're getting like the same FPS. It's so inconsistent. It's really, really strange, man. And all in all, it's just really disappointing to see this type of behavior coming from CD Projekt Red because, you know, sure, you can say the consoles are really the big issue here. Sure, you can say, oh man, well, you should have just played it on PC, or you should have just played it on PS5 or Xbox Series S, Series X, I think it's called. I don't know, man. The names are fucking weird for Xbox. Sure, you could say that, but one, all of those consoles are fucking out of stock, okay? Extremely hard to come by, and if you are coming by them, they're extremely expensive. This is somebody that had a PS5, just sold my PS5. People are absolutely chomping at the bit for the thing. I listed it for $500. Some dude just bought it for $1,200. Why? I have no idea. There was no need for him to even pay that much at all. I listed it at a normal price. This dude just bid it up to $1,200. So unless you're, you want to go out and spend $1,200 for a fucking PS5, which at that point you could just build a PC, and you should just build a PC for that type of price, then, we need to remember that this game has been advertised as PS4 and Xbox One. It's not like this was advertised as a PS5 game, right? When they were talking about this game, when they were advertising, when they were marketing, the PS5 didn't even fucking exist, man. Think about it. We would have been playing this game back in August before the PS5 was ever even out. It makes no sense to try and compare this on PS5 or the next gen Xbox. This is a PS4 game. This is an Xbox One game. And the type of performance that those consoles are getting is abysmal. It's awful, man. Think about it this way, right? You have GTA 5, which runs at a stable locked 60. You have games that look really good and have a ton of shit going on, like Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare, say what you will about it, I'm not the biggest fan of the game personally, but that game looks really good, even on base PS4 and Xbox One, and it's almost locked 60 FPS. Even when you're playing Warzone, which is a huge map, there's hundreds of players on, the screen. Maybe not on the screen at one time, but on the map, doing shit. And it can hit 60. There is no reason for Cyberpunk, with all of the graphical things turned on low, right? Every graphical setting is turned on low for the PS4 and Xbox One version. Like I said, there's like 3 people out on the fucking street. There's no NPCs at all, unless they're there to give you a quest or they're important. There's like no one. You cannot tell me that game, with all the graphic settings on low, should not be hitting 30 FPS on a PS4 and Xbox One when they've been working this long to get the game out. And I just fucking hate it that people are legitimately defending this practice because it's CD Projekt Red. Now, yes, do I think personally that all of the performance issues are going to be remedied down the line through patches? Yes, I do. I think it will be fixed. However, they should not release a broken game and patch it to fix it. Right? This is something we've been telling EA and all sorts of companies for years now. Don't release a broken fucking game and then patch it to fix it. Release a finished product, then patch it to, fix some of the bugs, some of the issues that somehow slipped through. But there is no fucking way that you can actually legitimately defend this behavior. I mean, CD Projekt Red went out of their way to ensure that people could not use their own footage. They had to use B-roll footage in their reviews. All right, that right there is a sketchy practice that we should not allow. Then on top of that, they did not allow console gameplay. They only allowed PC gameplay for the reviews. This is shady fucking behavior, right? This is something that should not be allowed. And I don't give a fuck if it's CD Projekt Red. I don't give a fuck if they're sucking my dick and fondling my ass at the same time. I'm still going to tell you the same thing. We need to hold these corporations accountable for their actions. All right? Cyberpunk should teach you that. That's one of the big fucking motifs in the game. Do not trust corporations. They're not out here for you. They're not your friend. There's no reason to be a fanboy. It's the same thing with console wars or anything. There's no reason to be a fucking fanboy because at the end of the day, the corporation only cares about one thing and one thing only. Your wallet. Your money. That is it. That's the only thing that they care about, and that's the only thing that speaks to them, is when they see that cash dropping. CD Projekt Red, previously, you may have thought that they were immune to this, that they're the good guys. But they're not. And all of this has only served to prove that fact. We need to hold these corporations accountable. And CD Projekt Red has fucked up big time with the release of Cyberpunk. I don't care if you're fans of their previous work. I'm fans of their previous work. And I know that they are going to patch the game, they are going to fix the game eventually, but this is not the type of practice that we want to become the norm in the gaming industry. It's fucked up. I'm really disappointed to see them do this. I'm really sorry if you're somebody on a PS4 or on an Xbox One, even if you're on a Pro, because the performance is still shitty on the Pro, and even if you're on the One X, which is admittedly significantly better, but still. And if you're on PC, I'm struggling just the same as you. It doesn't matter what the fuck the specs are. You can just go on the Steam reviews right now and see people complaining. The performance is doo-doo. It's awful. I'd understand if I had ray tracing on maximum or something. Yeah, that's going to drop some fucking frames. But ray tracing off, everything off, and I can't even get a stable 70, 80 FPS? Come on, man. Come on. So, that's what I have to say regarding the situation. It's something that I wanted to talk about because the behavior of everybody is honestly disgusting. That is attempting to defend these practices. And I guarantee you, they're the same motherfuckers that go on the internet and say EA's the worst company ever because they're doing this and that and this and that. If you're not going to say the same thing about every single company, then shut the fuck up. Okay? You're not an advocate for consumer rights unless you're advocating for consumer rights to every single company. No one is special. Okay? It's the same thing that we see with Bethesda. People are like, oh, the glitches are part of the fun. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Go be a playtester then if you really want that experience. Go make your $12 an hour as a fucking playtester and spend your days working on bugs. Very fun. But the rest of us that don't get a lot of time to play video games, that want to sit down and play a polished experience that we just spent $60, $70 on, we don't want to be fumbling through fucking bugs and shitty performance. We want to play a finished product. That's what we're fucking paying for. We're not paying for early access DayZ shitter game. Alright? That's gonna stay in early access for fucking ever. This isn't a beta. This is a full release. And I've seen betas run better, look better than Cyberpunk. Okay? That's all I had to say on the matter. I just wanted to rant a little bit about it. But damn, Cyberpunk is a fucking mess. And they really should have just delayed that bitch another 6 fucking months, man. I don't know. I'm not complaining. There's a lot of games to play. And as you've probably been able to tell from the streams, I'm not streaming Cyberpunk right now. I'm not streaming it. I'm done with it until they patch it and they fix it, because it's not how I want to remember the game. I don't want to play through a buggy fucking mess that can barely hit 60 FPS on a $1,500+ build. Okay? I don't want that. That's absolutely ridiculous. I want to play the game how it should be played, which is running properly. I can experience cutscenes. I can hear the game. There's no audio delay. I can see my guns in my hands. Damn, it's really sad to see. But first it was BioWare, then it was Bethesda, now CD Projekt Red. Just goes to show you that all of these fucking companies are the exact same. And there's absolutely no reason to have brand allegiance in today's market. Have a good one, everybody. See you in the next video, or Strim Marino. Bye-bye.